So something apparently happened in the 2 weeks between this video and the last one. I don't know, like they're not. I guess they're not gonna complain about this. As a non-raider, the race to first is meaningless to me. When the game is built around that event, it just screams this game isn't for you. Dude, honestly, I don't think many people care about the race to world first as much as they did for like the Tomb of Cerberus and maybe Argus. Ever since then, it's like been losing and like no one like. Less and less people talk about, no one cares. Right, anyways, Blizzard, we give up, you win. Bellular clips. Let's see what is so good about this. And honestly, I can already see one thing here. There it is. Whoa. 6 to 8 loadout slots. Want to cover different specs, PvP, dungeon, solo, AoE, single target, etc. They can't make infinite, but they want to make sure players have enough. I hope this is 6 to 8 per spec and not 6 to 8 per class, because this is unfair for Demon Hunt for druids and extremely luxurious for Demon Hunters, and other classes probably not as much. Like me as a Paladin, if I play Protection, Holy, and Retribution, I'm gonna have AoE for red, single target for red, or basically boss. I'm gonna have PvP. I'm gonna have probably AoE for world, but let's say I'll have PvP. Right, that's already 3. Can I think of another one? I might have two different loadouts for PvP, to be honest, but let's say those are the 3. Probably going to be 4 for red, because again, the talents are a bit like, it's a massive talent tree, so you will need like, you might need something like for like harder CC and some for like harder damage, or like more support Paladin versus like harder hitting Paladin, whatever. Then it's like, let's say you have tank, you're going to have tank for Mythic Plus, you're going to have tank for raids, you're going to have tank for PvP, then you have holy for raids, holy for Mythic Plus, holy for, depends on the week, like if it's what do you call it, if it's grievous wounds, you take AoE heals, if it's regular, if it's anything else, you take other stuff for heals, so that's already 11. Then you have PvP healer. Right, it's like, you know, it's really gonna be. I hope this is 6 to 8 loadouts per spec, not for class. And because I remember at some point, even though I didn't need it, I had a different spec for Torghast, for example, than I had for everything else. Right, then I had the movement speeds, talents, like movement capabilities for Protection Paladin in Torghast, which I didn't use anywhere else. Shit like that's like, you know, I hope it's for spec. But yeah, anyways, let's go.
Just it's a place they want to explore, they don't want to go too far. In the first pass of the talent trees, there's a lot of experiments and attempts to add more cool hooks to different classes and specs. But if that's all there, they can take a step.
Bro, raid buffs need to go away. Straight up. They just need to go away. Or you're gonna have 3 classes. Like no, this shouldn't go away. There's absolutely no reason for raid buffs to be there. The problem is with raid buffs. So for example, let's say you have 3 classes that have the same raid buff. You will only need to bring one of them, right? It's like, it's a real pain in the ass that you have to play with certain classes. And again, sometimes like here's the biggest problem with raid buffs. You will need a certain class. A certain class for a raid. Now, if that class is OP, you're gonna have 2 or 3 of that class for reasons. Right? Let's say in chains. Fuck, I'm trying to remember which one we had 2 Demon Hunters for, because like Demon Hunter AoE and single target damage was like off the chain, like it was so good. And we had a Demon Hunter tank as well, right? Because they were just so good tanks, right? It's like, fuck it. You need the mobility, it's great. They can avoid damage, like they take no fucking damage. Like they were fantastic. So you had Demon Hunter tank and you had Demon Hunter DPS. Now what happened was Demon Hunter became fucking dog shit. Like it wasn't that good. So, hey, can you change to a different class? We already have one Demon Hunter. We don't need the second one for the debuff. We're gonna get it anyways. So now you have to change to a different class. Like, it's just a pain in the ass. Like, it doesn't help anyone. And just sucks. Just fucking remove raid buffs as a whole. It's unique to WoW. Who gives a shit? Or at least, you know what? Make it so the class can give all the buffs. If you're a paladin, blessing of protection, blessing of might, blessing of wisdom, and blessing of what was the other one? Kings, right? All paladin specs can have it, right? Shit like that. Then maybe, you know, and then you have to bring a paladin, right? Druid have Mark of the Wild on every fucking spec, right? Meanwhile, Red Paladin only had Might and Wisdom in Shadowlands for no reason. They removed Kings, and you could only give Might to one person and Wisdom to one person. So it's not even a raid buff anymore. It's just they nerfed the fuck out of it for no reason. I'm taking this like extremely personally, as you can see. Holy pause, champ. Let's go.
Got the feedback and it in. So there you go for raid buffs. I think at what point does this stream end up having a... I know this isn't necessarily buffs, but like a big power infusion tangent. I'm so bored of talking about power infusion. Raid tuning then. Let's get to something that actually we have got big numbers on. So the raid is...
Raid won't be as punishingly difficult as Sepulchre. Bro, it shouldn't be as punishingly difficult as Chains. It shouldn't be as punishingly difficult as... Well, I guess the first raid wasn't really... It was just like... You had 2 buggy bosses. But other than that, you know, at least... Can they... Forget not being difficult. Can they be less buggy? And also, the thing is... One sec. Ooh, a good sneeze. Also, the other problem is... The raids are this difficult with add-ons. Right? Make them less difficult so people can play without add-ons. And if people want to play with add-ons, fuck it. Who cares? Let them. No one cares if Race the World First can kill the boss in 3 days or in a month. Actually, if they killed in a month, they kind of don't like it because no one's going to watch for that long because these guys are doing it every fucking day. So... Who cares? Rate the world first. Let them finish in a day or 2. Who cares? 8 hours. Fuck it. They can do it.
Not going to be
oh my god.
Sepulchre. There we go. The Inside have learned their mistake. The team was collectively in an arms race with Echo and Liquid.
Why? Why? They're not like... Bro, oh god.
Quote, we give up, you guys win. We're not going to try to make encounters that are uniformly challenging at that level because it's not the best experience for the player base as a whole.
Yeah, guys, we're not going to try to make encounters that are uniformly challenging at that level because it's not the best experience for the player base as a whole. Dude, you know what they should do? Here's an even better idea for how raids work. Instead of having the last boss drop like the highest item level, you're gonna have higher item levels based on the wing. So the first wing is gonna have, let's say, 200 item level. The second wing is gonna be 205. The third wing is gonna be 210 or something like that, and then or like 200, 203, 205, 207, whatever. So the bosses are getting harder, and when you kill them, you are getting better loot. Because right now, like the 9th boss drops same item level as the first boss, and the problem is the loot is random. So like somebody can have almost a full, like all their best in slots before the 7th boss. Meanwhile, some people are waiting for the 8th or 9th or 10th boss to get their best in slots, which are substantially harder. Usually, not always. Obviously, Chains was weird. It just sucks. Like why do that? Just. If we're gonna do that, just put it into wings, and like you have to do this wing, and then you go to the next wing, and the item level increases, then you go to the next wing, item level increases a bit, and stuff like that, right? And also, you can have like all like the 3 bosses in the first wing drop all the loot, not like in one go, obviously, but it's like they can drop like literally all loot, like they can all slots, right? And if you want a better item level gear, you just go to the next wing, and then you can get a higher item level there. But it's like, if let's say you are not good enough to do the next tier, you can just farm out the first wing until you have enough items, and you go on to the next one, right? So, or something like that. I don't know.
Right. Yep. Yeah, that's with 1%. Yeah.
Straight.
0.000.
Yeah, not even
Yeah,
1%.
because ultimately what made a great race for those two guilds
Was
made a
Legion.
tier that did not work for many more guilds. And it's not the fault of those two guilds.
No.
They're just really good, so they're always going to push the limit. And Blizzard evidently didn't want it to die that quickly. And then I think there was just a few logistical things regarding the split of the raid and how player power worked that then exacerbated the whole issue. But I think this might mean that Blizzard are more happy for just a race to world first that is within one reset. And that's fine. It's not a problem. I know it's probably not going to lead to as much Twitch viewership, but maybe they're experiencing now. having a bunch of Twitch-
Here's the funniest thing though. What do you think the percentages of people who get AOTC like legitimately? I would say it's like probably like maybe 10% of the people. Let's say, you know what? 40% of the players in WoW get AOTC. Bro, already half of your player base basically cannot get not even the most difficult achievement per tier. There is absolutely no reason for mythic rating, cutting edge, to be something only like the best 5%, best one, like the top 1% of your players get. There's absolutely no reason for that. The hardest difficulty should be something 5 to 10% of your player base should be able to get, right, with enough effort. But it's just not worth it right now. The mythic rating is just so not worth it that it's like, who cares, right? And again, and you can't even say it's like, well, WoW is known for having the difficult raids. Really? Really? Is it though? What? Where are they known for this? Classic? TBC? One hard boss, I believe, in all of TBC. Wrath? Not even one hard boss in all of Wrath. Maybe one in Old War. Old Deer, whatever. Cataclysm was when it just became fucking like a shit show. Like ever since Cataclysm is when it became a shit show, and I believe it happened because add-ons became way more prevalent. In Wrath, I know you had like X Pearl or Z Pearl, whatever. I think you had Bartender, but it's like weak auras were not at the state where they are now. Right? You had weak auras, especially for like the Vampire Queen or whatever her name is. But it's like it was not, the weak auras were not to the level they are now. Probably could, but they weren't, right? So because of the add-ons in Wrath, they went full out on Firelands. Ever since Firelands, the rating became shit show, and then they even like players caught up, so they made Mythic for starting Siege of Orgrimmar, which again wasn't even that hard, but that's like they keep upping their level for no reason. It's like most people didn't even get AOTC in Orgrimmar. Probably did. I mean, Orgrimmar was kind of easy, but you see my point, right? It's like there's no reason to. It's like you want your players to succeed, right? It's like why are you making it so hard where majority of players are not going to succeed?
Viewership for
Not majority, the vast majority, like 95% of your players are not succeeding. Like, why would you make content for like 5% of the player base? For like, not even. I'm being like very generous here. 5% is like people who just dabble in mythic rating. 1% is like people who actually kill, like get cutting edge. If that, I'm pretty sure it's even less than 1% to get mythic, the cutting edge achievement. So,
Booker is great, but then they see, oh no, where are the players playing our raid? What happened?
yeah, no one's
Where
going
did
to.
the players go? And as we have found out for an upcoming video we're making, they go. The sepulcher numbers at all difficulty levels are shockingly bad.
Of course.
Maybe you're talking about the performance of Warcraft-related content recently. Perhaps those sepulcher numbers have something to do with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Most surely.
I'm sure it's like,
if you're a raider
I'm sure it just added to the problem.
and the raid doesn't feel good because either it's harder than you expect, so your guild has more problems, so you get frustrated and leave, or the case of it's the right difficulty and then it's nerfed like crazy because they just wanted you to walk over it.
Bro, this is the thing I hate the most. Blizzard nerfing the raids. The nerf of the raid should come naturally when you get your set bonuses, when you get your item levels and shit like that. You shouldn't be nerfing it actively, right? It's like So here's the thing. What this is what it should do. Like and again, I hate using this example, but take Final Fantasy for example. The whole raid is doable with gear that has nothing to do with the raid. You can do it, obviously. You can get some power up from like finding a piece of loot from the raid or whatever, right? It's fine, but you can do it with just the crafted gear. You can do it with just whatever, like with just like the normal gear. You do not need to be the top of the top in like your item level to be able to clear the savage version of the raid. People have been clearing savage version of the raid on like week 1 or week 2. They did not have the savage gear at that point. Even in week 4, you had like maybe 2 pieces of savage gear, maybe 3 per player in the 8-man, right? So it's like 24 pieces of savage in total for the 8-man. It's doable. You just doing it because it's enjoyable, because it's fun, because you wanna get like your max item levels. If you just wanna clear the savage once, then you do that, right? Mount is 100% drop, by the way, per kill on savage, right? I believe in WoW too, it's like 2 or 3 drops, but it's like the problem is in WoW once you get cutting edge, it's kind of a pain in the ass to redo it. Like it's really annoying to get back to the last boss again just for the mount, right? It's like kind of a pain in the ass. Like it's a few hours of work. Final Fantasy, you just queue to the last boss, kill him every week, and that's it. Like you don't need more than that, right? And again, like my point was, regardless, I'm going like way off, but it's like I'm just saying, like regarding the loot, you should not need the loot from the raid to kill the raid. The loot is a bonus. The raid should be a challenge, a fun challenge to do with your friends, and you get loot with it, which is cool, which is fun, right? That's pretty much what it should be, which could help you with Mythic Plus, pushing your Mythic Plus keys, whatever, right? But it shouldn't be that like you need the raid loot in order to do the raid, because then you just spend weeks wiping, weeks killing the same shit over and over to advance, right? And again, like, oh, but the world firsts are not getting it. Well, in Sepulchre they did. Well, if it took them 1 month, guess what? They were gearing the fuck out of the raid team in order to do it, right? So yes, so you needed the gear. In Chains, they didn't need the gear because honestly, like there was like 2 hard bosses in Chains, really. So whatever. And like Sylvan's had a DPS check. That's about it. So yeah, it's like you shouldn't need the gear in order to do the raid, but the raid is nerfed actively because you're getting the gear. That makes sense. That's my original point. I just went on tangent.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about it at length before. Where it's like, yeah, it's just kind of bland. The whole experience is bland. So the idea of making that better.
Whoa, what's this?
Guilds, like, yeah, don't make your PvE game for 40 people. Who'd have fucking thought that? Like, who'd have thought that? Obviously, it wasn't intentional, but yeah, for sure.
So next thing, group loot. So Master Loot's not coming back really, but group loot will be, and that means you can roll, pass, or trade items around the group without restrictions. This is something that's there for raiders. Ian basically said personal loot works fine for the vast majority of the game, but they understand what a lot of people want, and they say they want Master Loot. Again, actually I saw somebody, it was a totally unhinged comment about Master Loot in one of our videos, one of our clips.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
It was basically just saying, like, if you want Master Loot, you're an evil sociopath. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. Whoa, okay, that's an interesting take. But yeah, look.
That was the narrative, right?
But the thing is, I don't like Master Loot because I've been ninja'd a few times, but I feel like it should still be an option for people who want it. Like, I think guilds should have the option to have Master Loot if they want to, like, get their healers up and running, because, like, certain bosses, like, they have the damage, but, like, they cannot keep up with the heals. And fuck it, whatever. Like, it should be their choice.
That was the narrative.
I guess Blizzard kind of enabled that narrative.
Yeah, the narrative around Master Loot was this only exists for people to ninja, as opposed to for people to actually distribute loot fairly. And obviously, you know, that's kind of... It was true for a little bit. It was true. Doesn't mean it's always true. We don't have to deal in absolutes, do we?
No, we do.
Yeah, we do. We have to deal in absolutes, yeah.
Man, it's the internet. You have one slot for an opinion.
Yep.
And it's 1 byte. That's how big the opinion slot is. So you can't fit that much in there.
Yeah, we live in a exceedingly binary world because it's it's like, not to say, it's like you used to have like 5 opinions. Like that used to be a person would have like 5 opinions, and those opinions would be like wide and loads of information. Those opinions, and they'd be like, you know what? Yeah, I really do think that when it comes to cookware in the kitchen, I'm talking about the 70s, maybe 80s here, I think Pyrex might be one of the best brands that ever existed.
Wow.
And then you'll have a conversation on how this is true for like 20 minutes. I'll be like, yeah, well, here's all the situations my Pyrex bowl didn't break, whereas here's my stainless steel equipment, and the taste's just a little bit different. And this will be like just an hour of people talking, like, there'll just be people in the kitchen like, yeah, Pyrex were really good. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of I can't think of any other brands who do like cookware. And that was like it, because you had less shit to deal with, because the world wasn't one big amalgamous mess. But now you have to have an opinion on literally everything that exists in order to be part of the culture.
No, Matt.
But you have the same brain.
Matt.
So you just have to go, well, I need 20,000 opinions, and by virtue I have less space for each of these opinions, so I have to go, current hot political topic, yeah, I'm on X's side.
Matt, you made a critical mistake.
What's that?
They're not opinions. They're takes.
Sorry, yeah, they're takes.
They're takes. People don't have opinions anymore. They have takes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It
used to be opinions.
Yeah, now it's takes.
Also, for clarification, Pyrex is now different to how it used to be, so that's it.
Really?
Pyrex used to be properly borosilicate glass, which was resistant to heat and stuff, but the American Pyrex has used a different type of glass now, which makes them substantially worse and more prone to shattering, so be careful. And I think it's still the same type of glass, but to a lesser quality, from the Pyrex brand that is manufactured in France for Europe.
Well, now we all know something new today.
Yeah, it's tempered glass, yeah. Some people know, but no, yes, I was looking at borosilicate glass, but what was my point about that? The whole point is people have like less space for opinions, so they have to kind of go, well, I need to have just one heated take in the chamber ready to go, because you can't have 5 opinions, you have to have 20,000 opinions, which means you have less space in your brain. That's not how the brain works, but it kind of is in terms of attention.
So next, gradual power increases in the rate. This is something that obviously was an issue with Sepulchre. He said they'd like to have something to explore, having a similar system to what was in BFA, where you get a scaling buff from Azerite armor that would serve as a soft nerve to the raid. That doesn't distort the player powers everywhere else in the game. Azerite say, I understand what you mean. Definitely don't bring it up in the context of Azerite armor. Again, think about the discussion we had earlier on today. Something. Who knows what it is? It's almost too early to say. He did say, while they do want to move away from borrowed power systems, they still see value in having a system in place for raid groups where 8 to 12 weeks into a tier, there is some progress or power gain to be made, even if you didn't get a new item that week. And what does that look like?
It could be anything.
Yeah,
that
it could be a Legion fall buff. It could be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like
I just.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, they do gradual power increase in raid. While they do want to move away from borrowed power systems, they still see value in having a system in place for raid groups where 8 to 12 weeks into the tier, there is some progress or power gain to be made, even if you didn't get a new item that week. Yes, like the set bones and stuff like that. That's fine.
I mean, yeah, I think that's like I don't know, because the end of Legion was such a clown fiesta that I think Legion Fall was perfect for it, because you were just ramping up so incredibly that it was beautiful to experience. But it's like the ICC buff turns on, or you get a Legion Fall. That would make sense. It would literally be a thing of, well, I don't know how the raid is set up, and this might have to change based on the raid, but like, this is all Titan shit, right? Why don't you just turn on a big Titan machine and makes us stronger slightly? Wow. And then you upgrade it every couple weeks. That's like a little bit stronger, maybe. Something. It's like, it's a weird thing where you kind of... No, ideally it should just be, here's your gear, get better gear.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
Farm Night is what's supposed to do that.
Yeah, basically.
We're in a different world.
Well, here's the problem, because...
Yeah, that's what farm nights are
gear
for.
versus
Shit like that.
difficulty, there's ostensibly a cap.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing. Because you don't want people who are like, I'm doing the normal raid every week. I'm fully decked out in heroic. Because that doesn't make any sense.
Well, Matt, our video came out with the title, basically you're not entitled to mythic gear.
Yeah.
That has like 30, nearly 30% dislikes.
Cool.
Remember that discussion we had last week?
Yes, I
about
remember
mythic
that.
gears? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you know how bent backwards some people's kind of cranium is in some of these issues.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like they're bent back or they're necessarily wrong. It's just it's a different perspective on what a game should be like in this sense. And I'm definitely much more of a purist in that sense, where it's no, you do the difficulty and you get the difficulty gear and that's it. But since because we're no longer playing World of Warcraft. No one's playing there's classic, but modern World of Warcraft is now modern World of Warcraft, and I talked about this a little bit recently to people by saying World of Warcraft ever since Legion, we're not getting World of Warcraft 10 here. We're not getting World of Warcraft. We didn't just leave World of Warcraft 9. We're getting World of Warcraft Legion 4.
Yes.
And Shadowlands was Legion 3 and BFA was Legion 2. And since Legion...
Oh, they're worse than Legion, that's interesting.
Yeah, because Legion was actually still carrying some stuff from World of Warcraft, pre-Legion. But fundamentally, it's that idea of the gearing system is designed for you to continually treadmill, just regardless of the difficulty of stuff. Not literally, but the weekly box, your consistent upgrades, the difficulty disparity between heroic and mythic, or M+15. It's all kind of set up for you to just go, we'll outgear our skill level, and that means your skill level doesn't matter, and that's how people have been trained for forever, because the game only got hard in what? When did the game get hard? Like Mists, maybe?
Cataclysm.
You mean nice.
When they went, we'll add another difficulty and move it up. When they went Mythic. And it kind of
Then Mythic and Mist, but like...
Because of flex.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was around that time it was like the game started to get pulled further apart.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah.
Where then the people who were
that's
at the top
exactly what I
level
said.
Play were like way above the people who were at like the bottom end.
Yeah. For no reason.
Changed to have the gearing system work that way over time. So that's like, I don't know. People are right to have their opinion, their desired experience out of the game, but it does result in some issues regarding skill.
Yeah.
Capacity.
Yeah, the game kind of like went to poo-poo land. I would say technically it became more difficult in Firelands, but yeah, the mythic difficulty in Mists is kind of what caused a big shift, I would say, for sure. Yeah. Not bueno. That's for sure. Let's try this guy. Oh. Yeah, well. Right, I guess we'll go to the next one. Yeah, not much to say about this. The raids are too difficult for no real reason. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. This is what it is. On to the next one.